We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Welcome to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. Jon, we have Elisa on our show. We are going to come back and fill your ears with lots of news, what's going on in the world, right?
Yeah.
Right, Jon?
Absolutely.
So join us in a
much.
few minutes and we will get started.
Want to advertise on the Jon and Rick Show? Contact Jon at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here in the Jump for Joy studio. We've got a great show for you guys today. We've got Elisa Wallace, who actually is going to join us as well for our intro. We appreciate you being here.
I enjoy hanging out.
And we want to get, as we get into our next segment, all about the Mustang, what is it again?
Classic.
Mustang Classic. Right. Mustang Classic.
Okay.
Get it. By the next segment, I'll have
I finally got it after announcing for 3 days.
Right. Okay. The Mustang Classic. We're going to get into that. But before we do that, we thought we should do an intro, and you're here and your family, so we wanted you to come in for this part as well. So thank you.
Perfect.
Let's talk about what's happening.
Yes. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening.
Well, the biggest thing I think we should talk about, just so you know, was I going to cut you off?
No, go ahead. Go. It's
we
fine.
had Plantation.
I'm used to it by now. It's fine.
We had Plantation.
Yes.
Which wasn't covered by other media outlets.
That was sad.
But we will cover it. And
Yes.
then we had Blenheim, which was really cool because Lucinda was doing the live stream off and on with some other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we can talk about Blenheim. Did you watch?
I did.
What did you think?
I always enjoy watching Blenheim because that was the first event I got to go to compete at overseas.
Which Briggs and I were talking about because that's a 4 long.
Mm-hmm.
They also had the 8-9 4 short there. Mm-hmm. But it's a hard course. It's hard.
It's very difficult.
And so,
course.
Jon,
I'm frantically pulling up results. Keep talking.
for what?
for
Plantation.
Blenheim.
Oh, Plantation.
You guys keep talking Blenheim, and then I'll
So-
be ready.
But I was reminiscing. 2015, Johnny's first trip with you overseas, ran the cross country at Blenheim, which is difficult. You only had like 9.7 time penalties.
18 seconds over, I believe.
Yeah, 18. So what is that? For whatever. It wasn't very many. But it was like it wasn't like successful.
Oh. What do you
it was for
I was
us.
successful.
It wasn't.
for us, but
Wait,
other-
18 seconds isn't successful at a
Other
first
people
four-star
didn't
overseas?
think that was successful for her. So I was just like, it was reminiscent of that story.
Well, I don't think of it that way.
Elisa, I think you were incredibly successful.
I thought she was very successful.
We were 30th out of like 100 horses.
I thought you were amazing. All I'm saying is...
Anyways, back to
this is a tough
actual
family.
Blenheim.
Okay, Blenheim. So we've got first place was,
Tim Price.
right?
And
Yeah, it's a
Happy
dim
Boy?
one.
And Happy Boy.
Happy Boy.
Is that right? Yes, I think it's very interesting watching Tim because his horses he has a type, right? Like all of his horses look like all of his horses, if that makes sense.
I said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I said that.
They all look very similar. So
I agree.
But I mean, he put on a very good weekend. I mean, he rode fantastic
He was
as
actually
usual.
first and 11th.
Yeah.
So second place, Daisy.
Why did I pull this up?
Daisy Berkeley. What, you pulled up Plantation.
I haven't actually pulled up Plantation yet. I can't find it. Keep going. I'll keep trying.
Then we had the big one for us in the United States, and I was very proud of her, and she's been doing really, really well, is
Ginny Karras.
on Summersby.
She had a fantastic go. It
She
was
just
super.
moved up the ranks. She finished 4th
She's a cool customer under pressure. Because if you remember, she was at Maryland 3-star.
That's
I'm
right.
not sure if it was with Summersby. She
I
has
think it was the other one.
2 that are,
Yeah.
I get them mixed up sometimes, but she did
Right.
the same. She's a cool customer.
She
She
came
can
right up the ranks. It was the other one that she has, but yeah.
get in there.
Then the one that I really like watching is the German Calvin.
With the Phantom
Uh-huh.
of the Opera horse.
He was 5th. Then Philip Dutton.
With Denim. That is a
Denim,
very,
yeah.
I know that horse is still a little bit green, but it was definitely a class act going around that course.
I mean, Philip at 62, 61.
60-ish. Let's just go
60-ish.
60-ish.
Just
He's
keeps
ageless
going
is
and
what
going.
he is. That guy is a beast.
I mean, and noting for the Americans, Catherine Coleman did a great job. She jumped around. She had time, and she finished 26th or 7th, somewhere in there. And then our other
There's-
American, Jan Binney,
Yes, Jan.
who we love.
Yep.
I love seeing her over there.
Jan
and
is the
going
best.
really well. Who else did we have there?
Well, you have the
think
results
that's
right
it.
there in front of you.
Yeah, I have to go all the way
Young
to
guy, Laird.
Laird, which I've never met him.
There's one person to go inside the time. Which
One.
is Irish. Porrig.
That's exactly right. Everybody else was a little bit over.
And the closest, I forget, there was one person, I thought it was Piggy maybe, who was like 2 seconds over, but I could be wrong.
That rounded up.
So I have a little sidetrack Blenheim story,
Yep.
which was that was the first event as like in my 20s I ever went over to, because I was with Peter Gray looking. I didn't ride, just going to look for horses, and the event was running at the same time. And just thinking of where we are now with safety in the sport, that was when they were just starting to try to figure out how to make frangible fences. And I don't know if you guys remember this. We went to the event, and Peter took me over to the top of the hill right before the water, the river water, and they had a bounce. And I watched Mark Todd and David O'Connor, and I think Bruce was riding there, and like all the big names. And I was like, wow, this is so cool watching these guys go. And I remember Lucinda, who I knew but had only met her at the clinic at that point, was out looking down at the top rail of this jump, like looking down through the top rail. I'm like, what is she doing? They had chainsawed the rails 3/4 of the way through at the back of the bounce in case a horse made a mistake that the rail would break and be frangible. And it was the very first
Wow.
That's
FEI
cool.
frangible fence that I ever saw.
Right.
And that was like,
Did it ever?
beginnings.
Did it ever?
nobody
break?
ever activated or broke it, and I don't know what they would have done had they have, what the penalty would have been, how they would have dealt with that, but I'm assuming it'd be no penalty.
Yeah.
But it's just cool to think about, like,
Of
there
where
when
we
I
come
was,
from.
like, I think I was probably 23, 24 years old.
And like
must have
where
been
it is
younger than
now.
that.
That
Must
was
have
like
been-
40 years ago.
Why are you so hateful? It's pretty cool to think how far we've come, and then you think, like, what's coming next down the pike? If we've come that far in this time, what's the next thing? It's pretty neat.
That is neat and exciting and noteworthy, because I think safety can never take a rest stop. We always have to move forward with safety. So it's
Yeah.
cool to see that happen.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
What do you got on Plantation?
So Plantation, I think this is really neat too, because the 4-star short was going on, and we all know Will Coleman,
Diabolo.
Diabolo.
which is interesting because I know people who like are part of that horse and they call it Diablo.
I've asked Will. He told me how to say it, and it was Diabolo.
It's Diabolo. You
Yes.
just sound it out. Like, I know phonics.
Yes.
That's Diabolo. So it's Diabolo, guys. Come on. But I just think it's great. Like, with all of the disappointment that poor Will had, he's come back and he won AECs on the other horse off the record, right? And then he just won Plantation on Diabolo. So I think sometimes when stuff like that happens, riders are like, the horse is fine, everything's fine. And you're like, is it? And then you don't see it for a while and you're like, yeah, it wasn't fine. Obviously, the horses are fine,
Yeah.
which is great because
Yeah, it was
he
just
said
really
it was
bad
not a big
luck.
deal, it was just bad timing.
Yeah.
And to have him come back and win at
But Will's really good at that. Like that's
winning, yeah, he's super good at that.
No, but I mean, he's taken some. I've seen Will go splat before, and I've seen disappointments from him. And you know, he picks himself up and he
Yep.
puts on a smile and he goes back and he works harder and he comes back and he whoops us all.
Yep. Yep. He
So
was
let
great.
me guess, Jenny Brannigan second.
Nope. Wrong. But another girl we really like, who has a beautiful smile full of shiny new teeth.
Oh, Ariel Garol.
There you go. Got Ariel Grald. And then the one that I think is really cool because he has proven how competitive he can be. And I think can get a little discounted because we always think of him as like being a sales rider and a jockey and like an Irishman.
And he has a really nice horse.
Yeah, Mikey Nolan.
Yay,
Yeah.
Mikey.
I love that horse.
Yeah, and then we have our good friend Shannon Lilly with that Eindhoven Garrett horse, which is such a cool horse.
Yeah, she's done a good job with that one.
So congrats to Shannon on that. And then Canada's there on Colleen Loach with Goldeneye. And then we got Buck on Cooley Candyman.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I think we went up also talking about safety, and those are great results. I think we need to do a shout out for Liz Halliday.
Yes.
Sending our best wishes for her and her recovery. And I know her whole family and team are there with her. She's out of the ICU, which is great. And I think she's having some reactions that are positive. So everybody out there, I know they're doing lap for Liz still. We should all be sending her messages. She loves hearing them being read. But, you know, we all are devastated. I am that, you know, that happened. But I'm happy that
rooting for Liz.
That she's surrounded by great people that are helping
What's
her.
the hashtag? Fight. What is her hashtag?
Fighting for Liz.
Fighting for Liz, and
Fighting
then
for Liz,
lap for Liz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Fighting
We're
for
thinking
Liz?
of you, Liz, obviously, and glad to hear that things are heading in a good direction that way. So, yeah, that's
I mean,
it's tough.
It's tough. It's tough, and we all have to move and go forward and just continue your work that you're doing, making things safe. And I know there's always going to be safety issues that we got to talk about and try to make better. And that's all you can do is try to make things better.
Well, and I will say, just on that topic, I know, you know, we talked a little bit about it at the last show, but there is a lot of stuff going on with different types of fences, different shapes, different things that people are working on all the time. It is nonstop. So
research and the
research
data
and design ideas.
Right.
And different ways to let people who are in the field come up with design ideas. So like stuff from MIMS, stuff from builders on the ground that we're trying to find ways to let that stuff all get out there and get used.
Right.
While
Which
still
is
trying to keep a
amazing.
level
It's a
playing
lot of
field.
people doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So good
So
job to those guys.
Our best to Liz and the team. And as we move through this, congratulations to everybody at Plantation and the U.S. contingency that went to Blenheim. I think it's awesome. We do have stationed, like Catherine Coleman lives there. The one young kid who's going to come over and work for Caroline, I think, is over there.
Yeah.
So good contingency.
Yeah. Yeah. So one other thing,
Yeah.
being selfish again here, because that's my favorite thing to do is talk about me.
Let's talk about you.
So just very brief.
But I can't
October
wait.
12th. Elisa, are you here October 12th? Because you need to come and watch me.
Okay.
Okay?
I always watch you.
Yeah, you need to watch me. Because October 12th
Okay.
is when my cool little documentary comes out, which makes me incredibly uncomfortable and you can make fun of me.
Okay.
So that
I'm surprised you didn't let me in and like help you edit.
I didn't make it.
Just-
I had
That was a
nothing,
joke.
Nothing to do
But
with that. It's not funny.
I thought, and I was very pleased that you used me for a teaser and a trailer.
That was Peter's idea.
Was it?
Yeah, Peter was.
I was like,
"That's
did I
great."
say all that? I was really tired that
Yeah,
morning.
no, you were great. You did an awesome job. We were all
Okay.
both really tired. I'm always tired.
That's when we had Cosby on the show. I'm excited.
Actually, October 12th is our wedding anniversary.
Oh, perfect.
Or
We'll
is it-
celebrate it with popcorn and a movie.
Yeah. No, it's the 13th.
It's the 13th.
No, 12th of 13.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, what?
Between us, we get the dates
The
right.
12th of 13?
Yes, so it's October 12th, 2013 is when we were married.
Okay, so great. So you'll celebrate your anniversary
Yeah,
at my
we'll
house.
come. Yeah.
It'll be great. Super romantic.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. it'll be
He's
awesome.
he's a good
What's
sport
on
about
Timothy's
it.
arm?
Oh, he got out of line again.
And we can move into the next segment with
Yeah,
that one.
so what we are going to do, though, in this next break is there is another
That
trailer.
was a joke.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm going to give that to Joel, and you guys are going to get to watch my trailer, which is super for me. So,
I like it. It's a really good movie.
all right, cool. Anyway,
October 12th.
Yeah.
What time?
It comes out on YouTube at 9.
So everybody's invited?
No, everybody's invited to watch it on YouTube at
Okay.
9.
Okay.
And then there will be a select invite-only group that can come to the house and we'll watch it together because I want to make sure that it's people that when they tell me it's, I'm ridiculous and what am I thinking,
Well, that's
that
not
I
gonna
can
happen.
cope with that emotionally because I'm kind of a sensitive guy. I cover it up with
We're excited.
anger and humor. So we're going to be right back
Yep.
with Elisa and
Mustangs.
Zephyr.
Mustang, Zephyr. Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you to Horse Trailer Pros and thank you to Jump for Joy for this awesome studio.
Equibrew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
Equibrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order Equibrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
Well, depends on who you ask. Jen would be quite happy, I think, if I said I'm done. I'm going to hang up the boots and we'll just teach and train and look after the business side of things. But I'm not ready to do that. I still have something left to prove. Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them. Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, my name's Leslie Law, and we are a proud supporter of Jump for Joy. We've been using their portable cross-country jumps now for about 10 to 15 years. We love these jumps because, as you can see, they're very easy to move. It would only take another person on the other side and I could place this fence wherever I wanted to very easily.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here with the one and only Elisa Wallace. Elisa, I didn't even ask, what is the official title that you just won?
The official title?
Yes, come on.
It's the Mustang Classic Makeover.
Sweet. So we have the Mustang Classic Makeover Champion.
Yeah. And technically the first ever English Mustang Makeover.
Champion. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's amazing. So we are in our Equibrew segment here in the Jump for Joy studio. So thank you to Equibrew.
Thanks. Equibrew is a great live probiotic. You need to get your horses on it because it works really well, right, Elisa?
Yes, all my
Right,
horses
Jon?
love it.
Absolutely. I'm just starting my timer because Briggs didn't.
Timer deficiency.
Briggs is, just so everybody's aware, Briggs is super busy right now eating quesadillas.
So it's exciting times. We're glad you can make it on with us. And I can say, and I don't know if this is a good thing, she's been doing Mustangs since 2012.
Why is that not a good thing? That's a great thing.
It's the first time I've been to a
No,
makeover.
yeah, this is the first time my dad's ever come to a Mustang Makeover.
You know what?
And he actually had to get paid to come.
I did the announcing.
That's fine.
And live stream.
You don't want a helicopter parent.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine if your dad was there all the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your dad, but that's a lot. So, probably good. And it was good that when he did come,
We
he had
have
stuff
stories.
to do.
We have stories.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into what this is. So, explain to me, before we get into like the competition, what is it again? The Mustang Makeover
Classic.
Challenge, Mustang Classic Makeover
Right.
Challenge. Thing.
Okay, so this, I'll just tell you, it originated out of these guys trying to really help bridge the gap for trainers, training Mustangs, getting them out and getting adopted to the public. So the past years it's been Western oriented. So a lot of the ones, the very first one I did was very Western driven. You had to learn how to do a pivot. Well, I did. Pivot, sliding stop, and all those things. So us, the English people, have been asking for an English makeover, and finally the organization Mustang Champions is the group that
And how long have they been going?
They've just kind of developed. It was run by another organization before called the Mustang Heritage Foundation when it first originated. And so now we have a new group called Mustang Champions that has, yes, with Matt Monroe and Stormy Mullins, that have kind of derived now. They're building two big competitions. The Western one, which was held in Las Vegas, and the English one, the English Classic, which was held in Kentucky.
So I just want to say right off the bat, we should go to the Western one in Vegas. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it is actually pretty neat because the original makeovers, we only had 120 days to train these horses.
Okay.
So picking up from wild to competition was 120 days, and then the horses were auctioned after. And that's pretty difficult, especially when you're a first-time trainer. You get very attached. And so it was really great because they've made some modifications. So they've kind of taken some clues from the RRP, which has done a really good job. So they're giving
Which
people
is the Retired Racehorse
Project.
Right.
Where there's a year to train a horse. So if you pretty much, if you find a Mustang after October 1st, you almost have a year to train it, which is really nice. And there's no auction at the end. So that's a big sigh of relief for people as well. But for me, for instance, I wasn't able to find my horse until end of February. February 22nd is when I picked out Zephyr. And so I went back and I looked, and like my first sit on him was like April 8th. So he's really come a long way.
What are we? April. So you had like 5 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
So what you're saying is, in less than half the time of everybody else, you beat them and dominated them.
I have a very
With
good
one
horse.
arm tied behind your back, you crushed them.
No.
That's what I got out of that.
No.
She did a very good job, but here's where I was very impressed. So I think they had 56 at the end of the day, 56 entries.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of people that were Western that were coming over and giving it a try.
Oh,
right?
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And for the classic, sorry to interrupt, but it was pretty much a 3-day event. So we had dressage, we had arena cross country, and we had show jumping.
And did you do it all in the Rolex Arena?
We did it all in the Rolex Arena.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool. I was really proud of all of those horses and riders. Like, it was really awesome to have Mustangs in the Rolex Arena.
Yep.
So that was great. But and then the final was a freestyle. So and the freestyle was 40% of your score was based on your dressage score, because that's really important. And then the 60% was your freestyle of artistry and then technical difficulty and stuff like that.
And so you set it to music and the whole deal.
Yes.
So what was your music?
I did a mashup. Obviously, you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen any of this. I am completely uninformed.
Interesting.
But listen. This is
That happened like a while ago.
Hold on. Do not get accusational with me, because this is my method.
Excuse me.
You give great interviews if you don't know all the information, because then you ask the questions. I am trying to do a good job for my audience, Elisa.
I'm sorry, but you failed to be like fully informed.
No, totally wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's actually
Anyways,
valid. So, what
I
was your
did-
music is what the question
The
was.
theme was to Willy Wonka.
Nice.
Right. So actually, I was really proud.
Oh, wait, yes, because I saw Timothy in the hat, and I saw you in the hat. And it's
Yes.
okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah. So
I might watch this.
I was.
Well, I will after. I just wanted to make sure I was ready to do the interview.
Yeah. So for the freestyles, I tend to stay in my like dressage riding clothes and base my freestyles off of that into
Right.
music, because that's kind of how I was raised, off of dressage freestyles. But that kind of worked for 12 years ago, but then everybody's like gotten really good at these freestyles, so
Right.
I had to revamp myself a little
So
bit.
you went out on a limb
I
and got
pushed
out of
myself.
your dressage
Yes.
outfit
I
and put
built
on a
a
top hat,
costume.
which is really crazy.
I got to use my degree, which is in art.
Oh, sweet.
So I built a jump that was made out of, it looked like Oompa Loompas, which I was very proud of.
Sweet.
And
I remember
then-
that when I was watching.
And then I built my hat out of cardboard around my my helmet.
Yep.
Because you got to be safe. Because people were like, "Why?" You know, some of my Western friends were like, "You don't have to wear a helmet," and I'm like, "I'm jumping a corner. I
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
gonna
wear
wear
a
a helmet."
helmet." And so I kind of just built it out of the idea. My horse has a very goofy personality. He loves cookies, and I don't know. Willy Wonka just seemed to really fit him.
Right.
And so it was actually really fun because Timothy and I were messing around with the music and the mashup like 1 o'clock in the morning before this thing was. And just because of my eventing schedule and everything, I really hadn't had time to like put together a choreographed thing. So I had like ideas in my head. I had like one day of practice at home to make sure Zephyr was good with like the cowboy curtain thing and jumping.
Wait, what's the cowboy curtain thing?
The streamers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's called the cowboy
Right, got
curtain.
it, okay.
And then I had him jumping some inflatable things, like a golden goose. So I had a golden goose. I had
Lollipop.
like a lollipop, and then I had some balloons, which I introduced him to balloons like the night before, and he was cool with them. He liked them.
If he hadn't been cool, would you have changed your plan?
I probably would have adapted it different,
Right, okay.
but because my goal is to with horses in general is just maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. So
Right.
kind of play off of what he's good at. I didn't have any like flashy tricks on him or anything. Like on some of my other horses I tempi lead changes or half passes, and he's a very solid basic dude. He's going around beginner novice, but he had like a Spanish walk, and he likes to kick a ball, and he loves to jump.
And he
So,
likes treats.
He loves cookies.
Right, I mean,
Yes.
who doesn't?
Yeah.
I will interject. It was, I was like, what are you doing? Because she had this truck full of
Oh yeah.
balloons going to the Rolex Stadium, and balloons are flying out
They're
of the back of
flying
the truck. I was
everywhere.
back in the golf cart trying to get the balloons, and
So
then
windy.
She had Ellen out there trying to hold them in. We get to the warm-up area, and there's wind going everywhere, and
Balloons
she's just throwing stuff out there, going, "Well, this is what I'm going to do."
I was like, that'll go there. That'll
And then
go
she
there.
kind of did stuff, and then when you watch it, I was very impressed, and it was very good.
So, do you have all of this on your YouTube?
Yep.
Yes.
So we can
Yep.
direct people to that. What is the YouTube?
WallaceEventing.com.
Well, that's the YouTube.
I mean, it's Wallace Eventing. If you
WallaceEventing.com will take him to your video, which is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
Right. It's Elisa Wallace Eventing. It'll pop up on my YouTube.
The YouTube's Elisa Wallace Eventing.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody got that? You guys got
Yeah,
that?
but
Right,
we can
okay.
also maybe show a couple clips here and there too.
And I also have all of the lead ups, so his dressage test and the arena cross country, where I do the talkovers and everything as well.
So they did it quite right. The one thing I would suggest them do next year is do a 20 by 40 ring. They use 20 by 60 for training 3 tests.
Right.
With all
Training
these
2.
horses. Training 2, sorry. Training 2 tests. And they had really good dressage judges, very respectable dressage judges. They then had...
Respectful or respectable?
Respectful. Respectable.
There you go.
That
Possibly respectful as well.
All that.
Were they rude?
And then they had David O'Connor and Dorothy Crowell
Yep.
as the jumping derby, the cross country derby day. And they, in turn, came back for the freestyle. But Dorothy and another show jump, Frank
I forget. I'm blanking.
He was
Was it
a really established.
Conway?
Yeah.
He had done some
Conway.
young event horse.
Frank
And
Conway. To do the show jump. So that was all scored, put together, and they got the final 10.
So is the jumping like
it's like young event horse.
Okay, so okay.
It's
Yeah.
So it's
10 per
subjective. I would get those
obstacle.
words. Subjective.
Subjective.
Yes, subjective.
Right.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, and also the way they did it, which was really nice, is they placed kind of the top. They did placings for each division, and so then you were able to win money for each division as like each category. So dressage, cross country, show jump, you're able to win some money as well.
3,000, 2,000, 1,000, third,
Right.
first, second, third.
Right.
For each division. And then 50,000, and it went 50,000 to first, 20,000 to second, 12 to third, and on down through 10th.
And so as the champion, you get a check for $50K plus whatever divisions you won.
Yeah, I won the dressage and I was second in cross country.
Which is why you brought all this amazing booze and food this evening.
no, I don't even drink alcohol very much.
But it's also a big for the Mustang champions to combine with the BLM. BLM is working very hard to advertise and get the Mustang out there for people to adopt them.
Correct.
So
BLM is
Bureau of Land Management.
Got it. Thank you.
So the whole gist for the BLM, like giving money into the Mustang,
these programs,
the
right.
Mustang Classics, is to promote this kind of
adoption
thing for the Mustangs, right?
Right,
So,
is to help promote the quality of the Mustangs themselves, and that they're worth it. They're very nice horses to train, and it's a lot
I
of
wanted
fun.
one of them.
Yeah.
His name was Handy Dandy.
Handy Dandy. He was the
I
second
would have
place horse.
taken that if you would have been a kid. I would have taken that home.
He is precious.
Right.
It was
if you
a
loved her,
beautiful-
you would have bought it for her anyway. You know she loves. She
I
is your
kept on
kid.
telling- It was a beautiful chocolate palomino.
He was.
And
in fact,
it was a
chocolate palomino.
medium pony, 13.2, 13.3, but very, very talented. So the other thing that drew I think we need to talk on, I don't know how much time we have
We have all the time in the world.
is to talk about what's been going on in our sport. And what I noticed with Elisa and her girls that competed there, that she's helping get into this. But the way they train their horses, I think we all need to kind of take a look at what they're doing, because Wild Mustangs, I want her to talk about it. Wild Mustangs doesn't allow you to go in there and not, be firm with them. Talk about how you train pressure on, pressure off, and build the confidence. And what I see all of y'all do at competition is pressure, off pressure, pressure.
Right. So there's the positive R, which is using plus R. So you use a treat or positive reinforcement for that, and then there's also the release of pressure. So those two types of things can coincide together. Just
So for the layman, giving them a treat for being good, or taking pressure away to allow them to take the easy path out of it.
Right, exactly. Making something a little bit more difficult and making it easier. And I think as riders and horsemen, we need to do, all we can do is our best at that moment, and then work to be better. So that's what I have really enjoyed with the Mustang. I mean, we all make mistakes with our horses and stuff, and I learn from them. But I think that each Mustang really helps me learn to get more tools to train horses better. And
to help you train all horses, not just Mustang
all horses,
right.
yes. The Mustangs have helped me a lot with my event horses. I've had some difficult event horses too. And so that's just kind of my thing, is just really trying to work at being a better horseman,
Right.
which I think this should be everybody's
Well, I
goal.
was impressed. Like, I would watch dressage day, and these some of these guys have never been in the Rolex Stadium. I mean,
Sure.
they
Well, and the
haven't been
horses at most are a year in
Right.
training, right? Like
So
a year
I
from
would-
wild. Is that right?
Correct.
And I would see like where somebody might get frustrated because they're having trouble getting somewhere, and they would not panic. They would take their time. They would introduce the pressure, and then they would take it away. And then, I mean, it worked. The
Right.
horses would go forward and go through it and get on. But I was impressed just with all that's in the press and on social media now. I think we all need to all take a step back and really start understanding what we're doing with our horses. I think all of us care about that, and then introducing new ways to maybe be productive instead of the old ways, which a lot of
Oh,
people...
I completely agree with that. Not to get too off topic, but I was actually teaching a clinic this weekend and was talking about how, like, I think there's obviously tremendous negative with everything that's going on right now, but the positive of it is, as a trainer and as a teacher, it does make you find better ways to do
Exactly.
things. Where in the past you'd be a little bit quick to be like, yo, come on, get over this. Now you have to be like, we don't want to be ridiculous here. Let's just take a moment.
Well,
and it
sometimes
makes
like
you better.
thinking about it, like, well, what happens if you do take the pressure off?
Right.
Oftentimes, when I teach the clinics too with horses and people are with ditches, or
Yep.
oftentimes ditches and water are the biggest thing. But if you just wait, horses will want to go.
Yeah.
And then once you teach that confidence, and they have one of the biggest things that I like to teach, which Zephyr has been really fun, is that if he's worried about something, I kind of like to think like you're giving them their superpower. So the superpower is, if he's scared, to go and touch it or to go and jump it. So like he'll see something he's afraid of and he'll be running to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because he knows if he touches it, boom, click, he'll get a cookie.
Gets a cookie.
So then he starts to feel good about it, and so then he just starts
I
to
might
learn.
try this just in general life, like with my kid.
If you just run to something.
Try it with
and-
Caden.
Yeah. He likes,
He likes cookies.
yeah, everybody likes cookies.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Working
been.
students would probably be happy with
I
cookies.
mean,
Yeah.
it does help.
Yeah.
Well, I was very impressed, and I think it's a good way of going. But to your point, you're finding different directions, and
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah, and the old adage: if you don't get them through it right then and there, you're not going to win, and it's not a win situation. So it's kind of the things that we all need to start talking about more.
for sure. Why don't we take a break briefly, check in with some of our sponsors, and then I want to hear more about your horse specifically and how you found
Yeah,
it.
I
All
like
right.
him.
All right, cool. Let's do that. We'll take a break. We'll be right
Thanks, Echo Brew.
back. Yeah, thank you to Brew, and thank you to Jump for Joy for Awesome Studio and Horse Trailer Pros. We'll get them all in there.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com. Reset, reboot, rebuild, restore. Experience the transformative power of our formulas you can trust. Elevate your horse's well-being from the inside out with Parkmore supplements. European designed, American manufactured, and Kentucky Proud certified. Parkmore's Devil's Own Detox, Nature's Own Binding Agent, cleansing your horse's system. Now available for your canine kids too. Say goodbye to unwanted elements and hello to vitality. Parkmore Special Vitamin Mineral Supplement, a micronutrient powerhouse. No fillers, just 4 ounces a day for a 5-star adventure to thrive. Because excellence deserves exceptional nutrition. Parkmore GLF Immuno Booster. Unleash the magic gold, the #1 building block for cell replication. Elevate wellness and recovery for your horses and dogs, whether after training, travel, competition, or during periods of injury, illness, or surgery. Parkmore HI Oil Infusion. Customize your blends of herbs and spices to naturally combat inflammation, bacteria, and restore gut flora. Elevate your horses and dogs' appetite naturally. Expert guidance awaits. For more information, schedule an online, telephone, or on-site consultation with Fleur or one of our dedicated team members. Visit parkmoresupplements.com or call, text at 502-265-8345 to elevate your companion's well-being today. Since 1950, Maison Forestier has been offering its know-how to design custom-made saddles for passionate riders. In 2016, Maison Forestier took a turn and expanded into the sports world with the goal of improving the performance of the rider-horse pair. You will find a professional, reactive, and fun team to answer your needs. And this is why I have chosen Forestier for all of my saddlery needs. Feel free to contact the saddle expert in your area for more information by visiting www.forestier.com.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are in the Jump for Joy studio, joined by Elisa Wallace, and we're going to talk about Zephyr. So, to everybody out there, the Mustang that you picked out in the end of February, back in the beginning of April, that you just won the Mustang Classic on in Kentucky. Tell us how you picked that one and how that all transpired.
Well, we were I had an idea of when the the deadline that we wanted to get Mustangs, just because of the competition season happening for us in the springtime in eventing. There is a deadline, of course, also for the champions when you can adopt one. So I had tried to get one from the internet adoption. So there's auctions that the BLM holds that you can...
Wait, hold on. You don't go out to the Western United States on a horse and rope your own Mustang?
You're actually not allowed to do that. That is illegal.
Whoa.
You'll be
That's ridiculous.
prosecuted.
I can't believe you find them online.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like I've been misled tremendously on this whole thing, but anyway, go ahead.
they have been captured, and they are...
So what you're saying is only corporate America can capture the Mustangs, and then they can profit on them,
That is
but
our
you
government.
can't. Okay, all
Are
right.
you going to start choking?
So,
I am choking a little bit. I'm very choked up.
correct.
Okay, sorry.
So I had been outbid on a couple of the horses that I liked. However, my two working students won their horses, so that was great.
What month was that?
It tends to, that was probably like January.
Yeah, so they got theirs first.
Yeah, it was probably like in December, January when that IA was. And then pickup was, the closest pickup that we could find was in Jackson, Mississippi. So that was in February, and it just so happened I didn't have an event on that weekend. So it actually worked out perfect. So I was like, well, maybe there will be something there, because it's also a satellite adoption. So they'll have horses there that people have won on the internet, and then also horses that are kind of first come, first serve, that you adopt for $125. So, but you have to be approved with an application with the BLM and all that good stuff. So we go, I actually had no phone service because AT&T lost all power. So luckily I had Ellen there with me so she could help me find things. And so Zephyr happened to be there. He was one of the tallest horses there.
How tall?
He's 15'1".
All right.
So amongst my other competitors or eventing people, they think that's a small horse. But for the Mustangs, they can average around 14 to 15. There are bigger ones also. There's 16. Actually, I saw a 17-hand one not too long ago.
17-hand Mustang.
Yes.
That's impressive.
They can literally come in every shape, size, color. It's the rainbow when it comes to Mustangs. However, I came across Zephyr. He was rearing and spinning around in the pens, and I was like, well, that one's quite athletic. And he seemed to be a little bit more uphill at that time.
Well, that's because he was rearing.
Exactly, he was rearing.
Yeah.
And so I was a little bit worried because he was a bit just chaotic in the beginning. And I remember when we loaded him up, and the one handler guy was like, that one's got a lot of fire.
Right.
I just will never forget that. So
That's the name?
No, Zephyr means west wind, which I thought was appropriate.
Wind and fire.
No, west wind, and he's from a herd in California called Twin Peaks. So, yeah, that Zephyr seemed to fit because, again,
and he had no tail.
He didn't. He had a very short tail.
Did you help him with that for the competition?
He did have actually Johnny's tail,
really?
Johnny's extension tail.
Right.
It was a good luck.
So that's allowed. You can put
that is for this competition.
Right.
That
is that allowed in eventing?
Yes, it is allowed in eventing.
Do you have a
This is
prosthetic
Jon.
tail? I'm asking for the people.
Okay,
I
so
knew the answer.
For FEI
Jeez.
and for the Mustang Classic, the tail extension is allowed as long as it's not weighted. That is a big deal. It cannot be weighted. It has to just be a natural.
How do they weight a tail?
They
You
would
can put
weight it
weights in
so it doesn't swish or
Yeah.
do anything like that. My horse can swish its tail.
I'm learning so much. I mean, I knew that.
And
as
it's
well,
allowed
but
FEI as
If I
well.
hadn't, I would be learning things.
Yes. So that is allowed. And I actually asked if that was allowed before I adopted the horse because he had a very short tail.
Right.
Just because I wanted to know. So anyways, brought him home. He was a mix. The definition of him, because you could see how he would be relaxed sometimes, and then when he would get upset, he was like a monkey in a tree screaming sometimes. I was like, oh my God, calm down. So we had to work through a little bit of his anxiousness, but then kind of once he started to figure out and he would get positive rewards, and he was very good about taking grain, which Mustangs don't know how to. You can't just walk up to a Mustang and be like, here's a carrot. Oftentimes they don't know how to take a cookie, so you have to teach them how to take a cookie or grain because they're just used to eating alfalfa or hay, grass hay. So he actually took me a bit longer to get on his back. Normally I can get on them in the first week, the first 3 to 4 days. The fastest horse I've gotten on was Wynn, who is actually a Breyer. I got on her, a Breyer horse. Yeah, I got on her in actually the first 45 minutes of meeting her. She was a fun horse too. But Zephyr took me about 3 weeks to a month for him to kind of let me get on him.
So what tells you can't get on yet?
He was pretty guarded about his body. Like he wasn't.
But I tell people how you go through that. Like you.
Well, you work in, so the wild horses in general have, for me, they have zones. So each horse, each Mustang that you get, kind of like that first touch, it can be very different for each horse. So some horses prefer you to come to their nose, for instance. Some horses prefer the forehead. Some prefer the neck or the shoulder. It just all depends on the horse and where they're comfortable. Generally speaking, it's the left side that they're more comfortable with because, again, they're put into chutes and everything's done on the left side.
Sure.
So oftentimes they're more guarded on the right side. There have been a couple of horses that prefer you in the right eyeball, and it's like, okay, fine.
But then you got to get on them backwards, which is difficult.
Well, I can't, I'm not that talented to get on the, I'm not.
You can't get on the right side? I mean, I
can.
can't get on the right side, but I feel like you should be able to.
Well, I do, okay, so I train all of mine first to get on the left side because I'm much quicker if anything happens. I know
Right.
exactly where I am. And then I go back and I train to get on the right side once they understand the concept.
Okay.
Oftentimes people will be like, well, you weren't equal when you were doing that. And just for me, it's just safer to do it my way, which is I get on and I have them comfortable with that. And then I bridge the gap and they understand
That makes sense.
when I do the right side.
I'm just thrilled if I can get on mine, period.
Maybe you should train better, John.
To stand still when you get on for sure. Mine are
Maybe try
terrible at that.
cookie. Get on cookie.
I feel like I would probably just want to eat the cookie.
Get a sugar cube.
No, give them not a sugar cube. Do an alfalfa cube or something.
All right. I'll think on that.
Anyhow,
Go on, I apologize.
Zephyr was pretty funny because he really liked his muzzle to be rubbed. So fairly early on, he was very comfortable with like his face being touched. Like he was comfortable with that. So that was pretty interesting about him. He could handle, like he liked being cuddled and stuff. So
Right.
once we got through, I had to go quite slow with him, but then I was able to ride him, and then I just started to giggle a little bit because he was not fire. He was slow. He was not fire.
It was not the athletic rearing stallion that you thought.
There was not a lot of fire. No, but he always loved to jump from like the get-go.
Right.
And he fairly early on, like the minute I introduced him to a stall, he thought that was the greatest thing on earth, that he was fed, watered, and it was an everyday thing. And
I mean, he sounds like a smart horse.
he is no dummy. He is very, very smart. And I just had a lot of fun training him, and
And he loves people.
he does. He really loves. He nickers to everyone he sees. So if he's out in the field and he sees you, he'll like coo to you.
That's
really
awesome.
endearing.
So you were saying like you like this new format because they don't get auctioned off.
Correct.
So what's he gonna do now?
I do have a home lined up for him. So we'll see. But I mean, he's a talented horse, has a fair amount of scope. I think he's, again, a little bit on the slower side. So I think he's going to make a fantastic lower level horse. I think he'll be able to go to 1 star. And so it's going to be very difficult for me, though.
I was just gonna say, so how many of these Mustangs have you done this with?
That's a lot.
That I rehomed?
No,
Nope.
that's not what I said. How many of these Mustangs, listen carefully, have you gone through this process of adopting them, training them, whether it's been in competition or not, and bringing them along?
I've done, so the newest one I just got is the 20th one.
Okay, and how many of them do you still have?
The core horses I have 5.
So you have 5 of the
20.
20. That's pretty good, actually.
Fledge and
Timothy,
Rune,
you're doing all right.
Fledge and Rune win Eton and Y.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Zephyr's going to find a very nice.
I was
really
expecting you
great
to be
home.
like 12 to 15.
My goal is to have one to do the upper levels. I have
Yep.
you've probably
Y.
seen him,
Did you have
Wyatt.
Y in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Y and Eton were difficult,
Right,
so
right,
I
right.
don't. It's easier to rehome the easy ones.
Sure.
Right.
The ones that are difficult, I hold on and find the perfect situation, or they stay with me. But I have Wyeth, who has been competing at training level, who's moving up to 1 star this year, hopefully. And I've jumped him 1.25 m. Like he's a fun little freak, even though he's like 14 too.
Right.
But I have high hopes for him, and he's actually going to do the Mustang demo at the Maryland 3 star.
Sweet.
Yeah, Maryland 5 star, 3 star. I'm going to be there for the 3 star.
So it'll be the 3 star.
Yeah. So it's a 3 star for me.
So I saw something really cool on social media. I think it was last week, which I don't know if you saw or not, where Jamie McAllister was up in, I think just north of Gainesville, like walking through the woods with her kids in a park somewhere, I don't even know where. And there were wild horses.
Payne's Prairie.
Wild horses.
Really?
Yeah. And she said they were Mustang. I don't know if there would be Mustangs in Florida.
Well,
Is that
feral.
a thing? If it's a wild horse, is it just a Mustang?
It's feral.
It's a feral, but it's not a Mustang.
Not a Mustang. Right. Just somebody
There's
let their
going to
horse
be
loose.
arguments about that, so we'll
Oh,
just
let's get
say-
into it. No, go.
No.
No, I want to be controversial.
No,
And
I'm
I will
gonna-
tag
I'm
this
gonna
on.
take from Jon and be Mr. Ride the Line.
No, not me.
Yeah.
That's a very hurtful thing right there.
Well, let me again. She was in Gainesville, right? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
yes.
So Payne's Prairie does have wild horses on it.
And are they truly wild horses, or are they horses
I mean,
that
it's
were
like
like, I don't want
it's
this
like
horse
the
anymore?
Cumberland horses.
Well, it depends on what you classify as wild.
I think
I have a couple wild horses here
I think
in
they've
my
been
barn.
here for. I think they've been here for a very
Untrained
long
is
time.
different.
No, they're wild. They are trained, but they are wild.
I think they are indigenous. They're a very old wild horse that.
Are they the cracker horses?
Yeah, they probably are the cracker horse.
They're the
that
Florida
got those.
cracker horses. Huh. Do you,
You didn't know that Payne's
You
Prairie?
didn't look. He doesn't even
I didn't even know. It
there's a
sounds
Flor-
sounds a bit racist, to be honest. The cracker
cracker
horse.
They're,
horses, the
they're
crack-
called
yeah.
the Florida cracker horses. I'm not crazy.
I think you're
They
making
are.
this up.
Briggs.
All right.
Cracker horses.
Yes.
If Briggs says it's true, now
So
I
is
believe
Joel.
It. All right, Joel agrees too. The Florida
Yeah.
cracker. Oh,
So-
see?
So have you not seen the Payne's Prairie?
I've seen Payne's Prairie. Have
Have
Okay.
you not seen
all
the
right.
alligator attacking the wild horses on there?
No,
It was
I don't.
made
I
big-
don't watch that sort of stuff. It
It
makes
made
me
big news
uncomfortable.
like 4 years ago.
I don't like that.
Well, the horse survived.
Did the alligator?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good then. I'm happy.
Back to your story.
Okay, I don't even remember where.
That's what I
was.
do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So Zephyr came along. You're on,
Yeah.
on in a month. You started
Yeah.
competing them. You're. Let's talk about something.
I have a super
Wait,
important
you
question.
can't do that. No. Because I think we need to give kudos to our girls,
Okay.
Megan and
Yes, Megan and Ellen, my working students.
So Ellen is an accomplished Mustang makeover girl.
She's won a couple of
She came from
makeovers.
Texas. Her sister and family's from there. Megan is new to all this, but she's doing great. Talk about your two working students. And
Well,
help.
Megan Malloy has been with me for, it'll be 5 years in
Lord
October.
knows how that happened.
And Ellen's been working for me. It'll be a year now. And they've been really fantastic girls. They work very hard. And again, yes, Ellen had previous experience with Mustangs and she's trained a fair amount. And Megan has trained, I think, 3. I think Mo was her 4th. So, you know, I think it's really good to do.
Uh-oh. Everything's okay?
Amber alert.
All right.
I think it's really good to train Mustangs because having that as a foundation to be able to train any horse from zero to a fully trained horse is a very important skill to have, whether you're an eventer, Western rider, or what have you.
That's
so
very true.
A good trained horse is a good trained horse. Doesn't matter what saddle you have on it. So they had their 2 Mustangs that they had got for this, and both we got a good group of Mustangs. They were really great, fun horses, and it was really fun to do the process with the girls as well.
And Megan was in the top 10 in dressage.
Right. Megan placed 10th and she was first to go down
56.
that center line, which is very
That's
difficult.
tough.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
That's hard to do. So I was really proud of them. You know, they had to, anytime you're at a horse show, you can have horses step up and you can have horses be horses. And they had to experience a little bit of horses being horses and, you know, had a little bit of disappointment in some ways, but I tried to always tell them, like, a lot of what we do is, like, winning's the easy part when that happens, but learning from failure is how you make yourself better. And, you know, being good at accepting that and just learning from it makes you, like I said, makes you better. So I think they got a lot stronger for that and learned a lot from this past competition. So we have another batch of horses that we're training from Zephyr's herd. So that's been
Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
From Twin Peaks. You're training them for something specific, or just brought them in because you like doing it?
They were nice quality horses that we got off with the internet adoption.
Didn't even rope them.
No, didn't rope them. And so it's just another batch of horses to train and, you know, find adopters for.
Maybe you should look into the cracker horses.
I like my Mustangs.
All right.
I think you should.
I might. Now that I know about cracker horses, I might get one and go to the World Cracker Horse Association competition. We'll have it here at my place, and I will be the only participant.
Well, you know, there is going to be another Mustang Classic next year, John.
You should do it.
Look,
$50,000.
we've already established that I can barely get on them from the left side.
Well, maybe you should learn to be better. Isn't that the point?
I guess.
I think everybody out there should coax,
You set me up for that. I was right
coax
there.
you into doing it.
Yeah.
for
I can
next
give you
year.
a cookie.
What kind?
I mean, you just tell me which is your favorite, and
I
then
like
I'll
a
make
good,
sure I'll
warm
just
chocolate
bridge
chip.
that gap, give you a cookie.
All right, I'm in.
So next year the classic will be moving. Have they gotten a place
I'm not
yet?
sure. There's
Okay.
been no like solid information, but
And
you know.
October 1st starts the date of being able to get your next Mustang for the September
the following year.
2025
Right.
competition.
Like there's been like no solid things, but the fact that they are wanting to do another one next year.
Right.
So I think
That's pretty cool.
That's really great,
Well-
and the goal is to really get more trainers to come and to do it, and to just get the exposure of Mustangs out there.
and
If you do it, I'll do it.
that's probably a good thing. We probably should. So we'll talk about
I
it
was
more.
hoping you were going to say no.
So you have a round pin. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ones that were in Las Vegas, because that's pretty impressive. You had, I know Handy Dandy was in Las Vegas,
Handy Dandy.
and Charlie,
The Sin City Sister.
Sin City Sister. So
Right.
those two were in the top 3 at the.
So you can do
English-
both.
You can do both.
Why
yes.
didn't you go to Vegas?
She
My
wasn't
horse was
ready.
not ready. I think by the time Vegas was happening, my horse was like doing his first show.
But it's a complete, it's Western competition.
Western.
Let me explain this. Sin City Sister it's Charlie, right? Is that his name?
Chris.
Chris Phillips, right? He dressed up as a pirate.
Right?
Oh yeah, he has
I
amazing
like this
freaking-
already.
He came out and
He does amazing stuff.
Amazing. He's a mechanical engineer, so he had waves.
So funny, he was my inspiration, like, because
For
he
doing
has
what you
done
did.
some really incredible freestyles. Like, I remember I watched him 2 years ago where he did,
Is that the car with the horse set in the car?
no, the movie Indiana Jones, and it was really good. And then he did Pirates of the Caribbean for Las Vegas, and I was like, I gotta compete with Chris. Like,
Right. Willy Wonka, here we go.
Willy Wonka, here we come. So,
But it was very impressive to see that. And then my favorite, though, is Handy Dandy. She's from Maui, Hawaii, and so she taught Handy Dandy
At Sam Rock.
on a harness to pull her. So she was on a surfboard
Sweet.
in a hula skirt.
Yep.
And she got pulled all the way across the Rolex Stadium.
She drove him.
on the surfboard with her horse pulling her.
That's cool.
And then she jumped
No sharks either, which
these
is nice.
3 foot like square verticals, and it looked like the ocean in the middle, and the pony
Jumped on the tarp.
onto the tarp and out of the tarp.
That's pretty cool.
they were.
So you better be ready to show yourself.
I can't do any of that. I have no artistic ability, whether it is like making something or coming up with an idea.
But it was really impressive.
They did an incredible job. I was very proud to be a competitor with them. They're really
And
great.
not only a competitor
competitors.
with them, you crushed them.
I did not.
In
it was really
5
close.
months, you crushed them.
really close.
Half the time, one arm behind your back. That is what you said.
No.
We all heard it.
That's what I said.
We all heard it.
No.
So thank you for coming on,
Out of
even though
John's
you're
mouth.
not the kindest winner. You were kind of trashing all of your competitors.
Not true.
John's joking.
You'll have to go back and watch and see if she did.
Absolutely not. I did not.
You were awesome. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank
We
you,
really
guys.
appreciate it. Even though your dad made you didn't have a choice, we do appreciate it anyway.
Actually, she was really good. I said, "Will you be on the show?" She said, "Absolutely."
Really?
Yeah.
That's because she knew she didn't have a choice.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, honestly, thank you. We appreciate
Thank
you
you,
coming
guys.
on.
I
You're the best.
appreciate it.
Congratulations. We appreciate you're going to be taking us all to dinner on all of your major prize money, which is super nice of you.
And there's 3 Mustangs that just competed at that event that are for sale. Get a hold of Elisa Wallace Eventing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, ElisaWallaceEventing.com.
Sure. Yes.
And they can go check out all of this stuff on the YouTube. Maybe we'll see if we can get some of it to come
There's
on
always
here.
Mustangs for sale somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't have it, you can rope it
Correct.
and they'll have
I
it.
I can help people
You can
if
help them
they're
rope it.
interested in adopting a Mustang.
Yep, we can put the BLM
Absolutely
stuff
hit me up
on
on
there, too.
Facebook.
A cracker horse.
Oh
So thank you everybody for coming on the show. We appreciate it. For coming on the show, for watching the show. You for coming on the show. Thank you for coming on, watching. Holy smokes. I'm
You're
struggling.
doing fine.
Let me start
All
again.
right.
Hold
Get
on.
it all in there.
Joel, you're going to have to cut that. All right. Thank you everybody for watching today's show. We had a great time. Elisa, thanks for coming on. Thank you to Horse Trailer Pros. As always, Matt and his team over there do an amazing job. And we will catch you guys at the next one in 2 weeks.
No cuts, John.
We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.